Falcons, but let me not jump ahead of myself. Normally I have the intro where you see my video, let you know it's countdown and things getting started. I wanted to get started. Was anxious to get started a little bit earlier than the scheduled 6 o'clock live video, but had to give you all a chance to everybody do their excitement thing, get settled down, and come back and join me live here tonight for Carolina Panthers versus the Atlanta Falcons recap. And it was a good game. Formalities, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe. Appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, encourage you to jump on over to jump on over to YouTube if you want to interact, which I love to interact. Man of the people is what I like to say. Independent media that is supported 100% by fans. So, hey, super chats are welcome. And you see this shirt, right? You see this shirt? So let me stand up a little bit. Here's a shirt. So you can get this shirt, right? So I'm going to open back up the shop. Another way to support the channel, help me continue what I do and working for you guys. I love getting questions and things like that answered for you that you asked me about the Panthers. So just if you want the shirt, it's for sale. And just subscribe. I'll post a link no later than tomorrow once I reopen the store for some of the things that I'm selling to help support the channel. But yes, a Victory Monday is just right around the corner for us. So what's up, Shakid? What's up, Tommy? And so, hey, someone already said, so when does the playoff tickets go on sale? Hey, Carolina Panthers final score 23, Atlanta Falcons 16. The Panthers have now won 3 games in a row, and they are above 500. So I don't know when the last time they were above 500, but I'll take it. Yeah, from 0-2, Tommy says, to 3-2. Reeling off 3 games in a row since Christian McCaffrey has gone down. But yeah, you got to walk into work, and you got to get a shirt. Get the shirt, support your team, support Charlotte Vibe, and have a good Monday. It's simple. Again, the shirt link, I'll post it no later than tomorrow for those who wish to support and get a shirt. So let me go ahead and get into it. As is customary after each game, win or lose, we are afforded the opportunity to talk with coaches and players. And so I'm going to summarize everything, just go over some highlights from that with you guys in case you have not seen that. So first up was Coach Rule. And in his opening statement, he went immediately to talk about how this team played given the injuries that they had today. Several injuries throughout this whole team, mostly on the defensive side. And they continued to play well, and guys stepped up. The next man up mentality is working well. He mentioned he's just darn proud of those guys that have stepped up. And Burris, he had to mention Burris, did an absolute exceptional job in giving his team the opportunity to win today with that pickoff of Matt Ryan in the end zone, in the red zone. That was crucial. That was crucial. So, again, going over summaries of Matt Rule's talk with the media today. The last drive of the game, I didn't write down in my notes, but I remember earlier, I think it was about, I want to say 15 plays, and it was about an 8-minute long drive that they did toward the end of the game to secure things and get the victory. And he said it was no brainer to do it that way. Certainly could have pushed things and went for got a shirt that has fallen behind me here, could have went for another score, but he just felt like the safer thing to do was to milk the clock, kick a field goal, and just make it a longer odds for the Atlanta Falcons to win. And, in that game today, Teddy Bridgewater, great stats. I got them coming up in just a moment, but he threw for over 300 yards. He did not get sacked at all, second week in a row. And what does Rule credit that to? Of course, he says the overall team, but he says one of the biggest things, guys are getting open quickly. And that helps Teddy get rid of the ball quickly, which helps him stay standing after a play. Not to mention Mike Davis is doing a very good job. His running stands out, but he says his pass blocking is doing great for Teddy Bridgewater as well. And offensive line is doing their job as well. So anytime you do that and prevent the turnovers, which I don't believe they had any today, that they put themselves in a really good chance to win. He was proud of the defense. Says at his recollection at this point, he had guessed that the Falcons had about 2 explosive plays, and one of them he was referring to the catch on the sideline with the toe tap. And he said he wanted to challenge that, but he didn't. But given that it was only 2 explosive plays given up to this team, felt really good about that. And in terms of the guys, furthermore, in terms of the guys stepping up when someone goes down with that next man up mentality, he said it's a testament to the way that he conducts practice. And he said, specifically, not me, but the way those guys practice. And some of the players that came on after the game also echoed about how Rule just gets everybody ready, whether you're a starter, second team, third team. If you're on this team, you need to be ready to play. And I would have to agree that his coaching has had that happen where guys next man up there doesn't seem to be anybody that's rattled when they come in to fill in for anybody at all. So very good thing. And he said, hey, this game is perceived as a game of superstars, but he doesn't look at it this way. He said it's really everybody, the special teams guys, the gunners. It's a guy who puts together the scout film. Every piece of it is why this team is winning. And he really wanted to emphasize, like, there's not one person who's responsible for this turnaround. And he certainly says that it's a culture that's taking place, and the guys buying into it and believing in it is how they are able to have the success that they are able to have right now. So I see a lot of comments coming over here. I appreciate it. Keep the comments coming. What I'm going to do is, once I'm able to get through all the information that I have, I'm going to make sure I go through and address every last comment. That's the only way you demand of the people is you take the comments and you respond to them, right? So I'm going to get to those. So next up, Teddy Bridgewater. Locks Main checking in. Teddy Bridgewater, I did not get the chance to ask him on game days. Again, we do Zoom meetings with the players, and there's a ton of media in there, of course, because it's after a game. But Teddy came to the podium in his jersey and pads, and that just stood out to me because I'm thinking, man, that locker room must have been filled with a lot of excitement because he was the only guy that came to the podium with pads on. And he came up there with a big smile. He said his Miami Heat hat, for all you that are going to be watching the game tonight, Teddy's Miami Heat hat is in the locker room, and he is cheering for Jimmy Butler to come through again and force a Game 7. So we'll have to see about that. I'm rooting for the Heat too. Leave your comments below if you don't like it, but it's just entertainment, just having some fun. And when asked about his motivation, I'm sorry, I skipped over to Mike Davis. Just play the game with the big, Teddy Bridgewater mentioned about this game that they just wanted to be aggressive. And Kawan Short, and I love that he mentioned this because it's just so hard, different covering his team and not being able to be in the locker room and get some inside information that easily. But he said Kawan Short spoke to the team before the game, and he mentioned, I like this 1-0 mentality that Rule is teaching these guys, and certainly he seems to have taken off. And then Kawan Short before the game told everybody to just play each play to their best. Don't look at the scoreboard. Don't care about the scoreboard. But if you do your job and take care of your assignment on each and every play, then the score will take care of itself. And he said that was a good speech, and that was a good mentality and tone that set this team for the game today. He said on the check to Samuel, so Curtis Samuel had a really good play where I believe it was in the fourth quarter. And I know Russell Okung was the guy that pushed him through it, but that play wasn't the play that was called. So you got to, Coach Rule has talked about Teddy Bridgewater being one of the smartest guys that he's been around. He's starting to show it now with some of his signal calling on the field, changing that play to the run with Curtis Samuel because of what he saw from the cornerbacks in the secondary on the team, figuring that Curtis could have a chance to get to that second layer. And then exceptional play by Russell Okung to, you got to give him half the yards on that carry for literally carrying Curtis Samuel down to that first down. And Curtis Samuel is playing, last week Coach Rule made the comment, I said, give me a moment to research it because I don't know where this comment was coming from as far as Curtis Samuel being so key, so clutch in the game. But what he was talking about is the fact that Curtis Samuel is starting to stand out a lot as a safety net for Teddy Bridgewater in third down conversion. He is right now leading the league. I don't know if I have the exact stat written down because I had so many notes going from the game today. Let me see if I can quickly find it. I'm not going to quickly find it, and I don't want to lose my spot with everything I got going on. But Curtis Samuel is leading the league with third down receptions. And he had at least 3 in the first quarter today, third down receptions to help them get to a first down. So lots of different people on this team playing really, really good. And Teddy mentioned the guys are just having a lot of fun at this point. They continue to play for one another. He's not the only person that mentioned like playing for one another, a brotherhood, and playing with a purpose, and not wanting to let your teammates down. And you know, I never thought about how impactful that could be for a team to get everything that you can out of your players by giving them that mentality to have, and it definitely seems to be working. Moving on. Hey, by the way, comments are coming. I see a lot of those comments. Please continue to leave those comments because I just got a few more things that I want to go through, and then we'll spend the rest of the time talking about the comments that everybody is leaving right now. Hey, super chats are always welcome. Again, I need you guys' support as you're able to do so. Like is the easiest thing, free thing to do that helps other Panther fans find out about my channel. So Mike Davis is a guy that you just want to go get his jersey, and watching him run, it's like, I'm not gonna say you don't miss Christian McCaffrey, but you feel okay. I mean, he's doing everything that Christian McCaffrey would do. He's running over people. He's sidestepping people. He's catching the ball out the backfield. He's blocking for Teddy Bridgewater. And it's like we haven't missed a beat with Christian McCaffrey getting hurt, which is just awesome. And he says they're just trying to be the toughest team, the grittiest team that is in the NFL. That's their goal. And again, figuring this team always says stuff like, you do one thing and the rest will take care of it. Be the toughest team and you're probably going to win a lot of games. He says it's always motivation. He has some Atlanta area ties. He says it's always motivation when he plays against the home team and in front of so many family and friends. And I really wanted to go into more questions to Mike about this. Hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to him this week about his running style, his mentality. Like, what is he thinking as he's playing or as he's coming upon a guy? And I didn't get a chance to ask him, but he said this today. He said he's just pissed off when he's out there. He just gets into this mode. That's what I want to ask him. Like, how do you get into that pissed off mentality? What do you start thinking about to go into that pissed off mentality? But he says that's where a lot of his running style comes from. He can't explain it, can't put it into too many words. But he also, in addition to having that pissed off mentality, again, just wants to play for the guys that are next to him. He loves playing for this team, and that's where a lot of it comes when he's out there running. He said, he's just trying to break somebody, just trying to break you down, just break you. And he's doing a good job of doing that. So Christian McCaffrey is out. That's why we're able to see so much of Mike Davis, right? So who's one of his biggest fans? Probably Christian McCaffrey. He said that, people don't know how big of a supporter Christian McCaffrey is of this entire team. And he said he's not surprised if once he gets off the field, checks his phone, and first text message is from Christian McCaffrey, and it's a video of a play that he did having a nice performance in the game. So Christian is certainly cheering on Mike Davis. And, the Carolina Panthers are going to have some decisions to make. But I'm going to get into that a little bit later. So moving on, just got two more guys to sum up and tell you all about from that post game. A comment here just stands out to me, so I'm going to read it to you guys. Mike Davis reminds me of watching Jonathan Stewart. And, he does remind you of Stewart. Highly reminds you of Jonathan Stewart by the way he runs over guys. I think a lot of fun has been had in his locker room. So next up on the Zoom call was supposed to be Shaq Thompson. And he's sitting there having fun. I guess Rasul Douglas was right near him, and he said, hey, do you guys mind if me and Rasul do this together? And at that time, the Panthers PR guy was like, well, we're already doing it, so let's go ahead and roll with it. And so it was our first time doing a duo, Shaq Thompson and Rasul, on the post game. And those guys just talked about the fact that they're playing as a team. They're playing for each other. And they didn't have any concerns about Justin when he had that, Burns had the strip sack. Well, I don't know if he sacked him, but he certainly knocked the ball away. And then Justin comes in to get the ball, and he misses the scoop up, and Atlanta recovers it back. And he said they wasn't worried. They weren't worried at all. And Justin said, hey, I'm going to make a play. And they knew he was, and and they say everybody practices like a starter. No one's job is set. And again, that helps them, and this is a reference to, that helps them play through all the injuries that they had. And last but not least, Justin Burrs came on, and he said the play where he got the interception, he credits that to the defense, to the defensive coach for calling that, getting the pressure on the quarterback. And, you know, though you may have been surprised that Matt Ryan threw such a flagrant interception to him, but he said he wasn't really surprised that the ball came his way. And the reason is he's a safety playing over a slot receiver. So that's typically a mismatch that a quarterback will look to exploit. So he wasn't completely caught off guard, but he was thankful for the play call, thankful for the opportunity to have some redemption and make a play that many players said was crucial and critical. I believe it was Teddy Bridgewater who called it the play of the game. Certainly was helpful because Atlanta was certainly gaining some steam at that point to make this a close game, but it didn't happen. And so there you have it. Summaries from the player and coaches' interviews after today's game with the Atlanta Falcons. And again, we are 3-2 and above 500. And I like it. And you like the shirt? You like the shirt? I got to show you guys the shirt because you can get the shirt now. It's coming up. All right, so let's go ahead and last but not least, go over a few stats from today's game, some things that I feel are important to review quickly and seeing this team and where they are and where they could be going. We're going to go over some stats in no particular order. Give me some water. If you hadn't hit that like button, I'm going to beat you up. Go ahead and hit that like button. Help me out. Just hit it. Turn your phone sideways. Sometimes it's easier. Turn it sideways. Hit the like button. All right, let's go over some stats here today. Once I get it up properly. All right, so we're going to start with our quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, who is having himself an incredible season so far. Today, it was 27 out of 37. Let me go ahead and on the fly calculate the percentage for you all of what his completion percentage was today. Let's see, 27 divided by 37. Right at the 70% mark, 72%, almost 73%. So that is where Teddy has been prior to the game, was I think right about 70. So he actually increased his percentage today by going to that 73%. So Teddy Bridgewater, over 70% completion rating percentage, 313 yards, so over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I hadn't had a chance to look it up, but I feel pretty confident in saying that his passer rating today of 116.2 is the highest that he's had so far of the season. Don't quote me on it, but I feel pretty good about it. So let's continue to move on. Mike Davis. Who's going to go get a Mike Davis shirt on Monday? Mike Davis, man. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more in a second here. But Mike Davis, 16 carries, 89 yards, a 5.6 yard average. That's making up for Christian McCaffrey, for sure. Absolutely for sure. And here's the Christian McCaffrey look-alike here. Receiving, 9 receptions, 60 yards, 1 touchdown. That brings his total to 149 yards from scrimmage. 149 yards from scrimmage. That sounds like the play of Christian McCaffrey. And you got to give him a lot of credit for his ability to come in and have the work ethic that he has and the results that he has. And I know someone said, hey, running backs can have a pretty good yards after the catch. Yeah, I feel like they can here and there. But I'm talking about when you have, how many receptions? When you have 9 receptions, that's still pretty good. So he's actually just right behind Robbie Anderson for yards after the catch on our team in that category. All right, let's continue to move on because You guys got another game that you want to watch? Let's go ahead and talk about those wide receivers. Uh-oh, didn't hit the right button. Wide receivers. Again, Robbie Anderson continues to do what he does. I think that there's no denying at this point. This is just my opinion. This is my opinion. I feel like Robbie Anderson is going to be our number one guy. He may not technically change to the number one guy, but you have a lot of new things here, right? And hear me out and leave your comments because I love interacting, right? Well, here's why I say Robbie Anderson is going to be our number one guy. We have a new quarterback who, through 5 games, is clicking terrifically with Robbie Anderson. He's a new guy, and that's his comfort, right? So, creatures of habit. Taking the fact that also you have a new offensive coach, you have a new offensive coordinator, you have all this new stuff. And things with Robbie Anderson is just working terrifically. So I feel like it's just going to be something that continues, and DJ will certainly continue to be playing like a number one and not be just like a number two. I don't think DJ is going to play like a number two and just fall off the earth. And he still has great stats, but I just think that Robbie Anderson just has too much chemistry going with Teddy Bridgewater. It's creating too much comfort, and not too much, but creating a lot of comfort. And that's going to be a reason that Robbie Anderson continues to do extremely well above a DJ Moore, who I think is still absolutely going to command some attention and do his thing as well. And hey, I'm just going to start to be thankful for a great wide receiver duo that we have not had since a Mushin Muhammad and a Steve Smith, right? I don't care who's doing number one or who's number two. If these guys are playing like this and we're winning, you get a thumbs up from me. But let me get back to these stats. So he had 8 receptions, 112 yards, 13 targets. That's a lot of targets right there. DJ Moore, 4 receptions, 93 yards. And hey, again, DJ Moore is, I forget the exact stat on his average yards per catch, but it's pretty high in the NFL overall. He had 23.3 yard average catch, and he had a touchdown today. So last but not least, we're going to go into the defense because they were definitely key today in making this game resulting in a victory. So let's go ahead and give the defense some shine as well. So it was, give me just a second here. Didn't quite do what I needed to do. Here we go. Shaq Thompson led the defense with tackles today, 10 total tackles. Jeremy Chin came up number 2, 9 total tackles and 1 pass deflection. Team totals, we had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 5 pass deflections, and 3 quarterback hits. So that was pretty good. All right. Reading some more of the comments. That'll get us through the stat. So let me go over some of my observations from today's game. All right. Again, Carolina Panthers are victorious. Yes, Donna, they won. They won big, won good. But sorry, I got distracted there by a little moving graphic. All right, so observations from today. Good and bad. I'm just going to go through them in no particular order. Dante Jackson, you got to like the way that this guy continues to fight back from injuries. He's pretty much gotten beat up and injured in every single game. And you give him credit that he's been able to come back from every single injury in every single game and continue to play. And you know what you got to give him a lot of credit for is you got to have a really good be in a really good mental place to get injured every single week, rehab like you need to, and come out and then just go to play with a reckless abandon like nothing's wrong. Like some guys, you start to get hurt, then you're going to start to play timid because you don't want to get hurt. But I don't see any of that at all from Dante Jackson. So I want to give him a lot of courage points, a lot of heart points for saying, like, you could kind of go to be sad and think about it. But, Curtis Samuel actually had this problem when he first came into the league. He was getting injured for about 2 years. before he was able to then get to a point where he's not getting injured. So Dante Jackson injuries are concerning, but hats off to him for the heart, courage that he shows and going to practice, going to rehab, and then coming out, being a starter, and just playing as if there's nothing wrong and trying to win a game for his team. So hats off to Dante Jackson. Personnel-wise, I think this team, I love the fact that everybody practices like they're preparing to start the next game coming up. And it's been helpful. You notice that we had a lot of people that went down today. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this graphic up. At least I'm going to try to bring this graphic up. Let me try again here. There we go. So injuries from today were a lot of injuries. 4 to starters, everybody on the defensive side, which is tough, man. How do you we got a young defensive team already, and then you go and you get 4 of those guys hurt, but you still pull out this victory. So that's great, but the more updates will come on these guys as the season goes. As the week goes on. Dante Jackson, he ended up being out with his toe today. Brian Burns left the game with a concussion. Guys, you can see a guy returning the week, but certainly don't want this young guy to rush his return back to the team. So we may be dealing without Brian Burns for another week. Kawan Short left the game late with a shoulder injury, and Yetur Gross-Matos, he left the game with an ankle injury. So lots of injuries today, but they continue to do what they need to do. and then going back to Curtis Samuel, I just thought about this. Going back to Curtis Samuel, how about this guy who is just being an everything kind of guy, right? He is being a running back, doing pretty decent, pretty respectable. Did a lot better than, I forget his name. I'm going to go ahead and say his name. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm not going to find it. I bet you guys would probably tell me before I find it, the guy that we had running behind Mike Davis today. I don't think I'm going to find it. Anyway, he did pretty good as a running back. Doing great with being a possession-like receiver, catching those third downs. But how about the fact that he's also doing everything he can to help this team win it, and as they say, playing for their brother. So how about on that play, I think it was 57 yards, in which DJ Moore caught that touchdown run and catch. Did you not see how Curtis Samuel was open, didn't get the ball, but still played and blocked his man after the catch to DJ Moore to allow DJ Moore to go down and get that score? So I love this team. And last thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to go over all the questions that you guys have been loading me up with. So I appreciate it. Continue to type those questions if you haven't already done so. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, hop on over to YouTube. That way your boy can get your questions and answer them for you. Mike Davis. What are we going to do once Christian McCaffrey comes back? Right? So we can get a lot more deeper into this later on, but I feel like a lot of you guys are probably going to be upset, guys and girls. I don't think we're going to see as much Mike Davis as some people are starting to think that we should see once Christian becomes back. And the reason is, just think about it from a coaching standpoint. Or just think about it from this standpoint. Mike Davis is basically being a Christian McCaffrey clone right now. When you have Christian McCaffrey come back, now you do have the original huge threat of a running back that you need, that Mike Davis is emulating right now. You're just going to go with that guy. You don't want to take away reps from Christian McCaffrey. You don't want to take his groove away. He's the highest paid, or one of the highest paid running backs in the league. He's still very, very young. I'm not going to take away reps and steam and rhythm from a guy that is incredible talent just so I can make another guy happy who's also doing well. No, I'm going to stick with Christian McCaffrey because he is the original Christian McCaffrey, right? And I don't feel that Mike Davis is going to get those opportunities any more than before, with the exception of, and I said this about 2 weeks ago, this is the only way I feel that they may use Christian McCaffrey differently, is if the game is decided and you, instead of waiting until it's the last possession and you know you're definitely going to win, they might give Mike Davis some more possessions a little bit earlier and let Christian come out to rest a little bit earlier. Or maybe you feel like Christian got dinged up on a play. Instead of letting him play through it, you go ahead and bring him out, throw Mike Davis in there, make sure that his ankle's right or whatever it is that might have been bothering him, and then you send him in. So I feel like you could just be a little bit more, take your time. I don't know what to call this, but you could be a little bit more, bring Christian out for a second quicker to do that, but you're not going to just take away his touches and say, hey, well, this guy was doing good. You need to come. It's not that. It's not a Jonathan Stewart, D'Angelo Williams kind of deal where you got one guy that's just like super quick and different style, and then you have another guy that's pounding. Like Christian McCaffrey and Mike Davis really are similar runners. It's great to have them both, but you don't need to split their carries and do something crazy. So I just want to prepare you guys for that. People that love Mike Davis, keep on loving him, keep on cheering for him, because I love him and I'm going to keep on cheering for him. But I don't think we're going to make a big change. So that's all my yapping, because I want to get to some questions. And you guys have typed a lot of them. So let me scroll back up, do what I do best, and go through your questions. All right, Shaqui, Tommy Walker, big win. Ali Broderick, glad to get this win. I was nervous the whole game. Yeah, somebody, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, please consider doing so, because on Twitter as well, I talk a lot during the game. And I said, hey, I just wonder what people are feeling like right now at about this point. And somebody posted a picture, Chris Clark, another reporter, posted a picture of like basically this little kid just looking like, oh gosh, or I'm about to get in trouble. And that's what a lot of people felt like late in this game. And I started to kind of wonder the same thing about, hey, is the magic about to wear off? But it didn't. And we got a great win, a really, really good win. It just, again, from a whole team standpoint, you got to be excited about 4 injuries to 4 starters on defense. And we still were able to play tough and not miss a beat in that regard to any of those players going out the entire game. Even Mike Davis got hurt for a second. Early on in the game, you saw the guy who I can't remember his name right now come in, and then you saw Curtis Samuel come in, and then you saw Davis come back out there and look like he never got gimpy in the game at all. So really, really good team that we have right now. Just again, read over some of the comments. Was asked about how likely is the game. So our next game is against the Chicago Bears. And yeah, the Carolina Panthers are surging. Certainly probably going to start to get some more attention because of that. 3-2. No, there's no chance that this game gets moved to a Sunday night football. First of all, I don't think they are doing that yet at the, what does this be, the 6th week of the season? If we're right at the cusp of when they start moving games. But the NFL has too many other things. I don't think we're going to see many schedule changes at all this season for that primetime stuff, because they have to move so many games due to COVID. I think they moved about 5 games or so today due to COVID situations. And I don't think they need any pressure to add another component of moving games for prime time when there's so many games that are going to be moved already because of COVID. So glad that they're winning. Don't think they're going to get this Bears game moved to Sunday night football. Another comment here. The biggest difference between last year Panthers team and this year team. Last year, they would have found a way to lose this game. This team is extremely dangerous. They can seriously beat anyone. And I definitely agree that they can beat anybody. They have not gotten blown out. They have not looked terrible against anybody at all this season. They have played from behind against great Tom Brady. Yeah, he's older, whatever. But a young team, young defense, new coaching staff, new scheme on both sides, new coordinators, new. I think it's just phenomenal what's going on, and you certainly feel like this team can play with anybody. What's up, Chris Johnson, if I didn't already say so? Okay. Tommy Walker saying McCaffrey and Davis will be a great 1-2 punch. They will. They certainly will, but again, it's not going to be, don't expect the D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart type of 1-2 punch. Just expect that Mike Davis comes in maybe every quarter versus just once a half and gets a good run or gets a good rep. Nothing more than that, because it's just not needed. Again, just read through the comments. I want to make sure I get through everyone before I get off of here and see you guys tomorrow, which I do invite you to subscribe and like, because I will be back on tomorrow as Coach Rule will come on and give us some more insight on the game today as he's had, after he would have a chance to watch some film and give some further analysis, and certainly should be able to talk to a few players tomorrow as well. Need for Victory Monday. Hey, we got I'm gonna show you one more time. We got the Victory Monday shirts that you guys can buy. They're on sale. Give me till tomorrow. I'll have the link up whether you need the long sleeve shirt like what I have, short sleeve shirt, and I think I also got a hoodie for you guys to who would like to order and support the team and support me, basically. Not support the team, but support the channel. Three 3-0 without Christian McCaffrey after all the roster turnover. I did not see this coming. Yeah, man. Callan, it's true. I'm excited to see what Brady does when Christian McCaffrey comes back. What's the story on Brian Burns? So in case you missed it, Brian Burns suffered a concussion, did not return to the game. So that's something that's different for each player as far as how long that would take him to recover from. Some guys, getting it on a Sunday can be back and play the next Sunday. So I'll just invite you to stay in touch with the channel, subscribe, hit the notifications, and I'll keep you in the loop about Brian Burns and his concussion that he suffered, I think, in the second quarter. And it looks like he hit his own player on that play in which he was just trying to make a tackle, just hustling down the field. Oh, no problem. Yeah, man, no problem. I don't care if you guys ask questions. That's what I'm here for. So I'm about to wrap up, but everybody's watching. Hey, I do want to completely emphasize, I'm here working for you guys. If you're watching this show, if you tuned in, I'm doing this for you. So if you have a question, let me know your question, because I work for you guys. You guys support me 100%, allowing me to be the only independent media that covers the Carolina Panthers, which is a privilege that I'm able to do so. And your support is needed and appreciated as I continue to do so covering this team. So that looks like all the questions for today. I'm going to get out of here, go enjoy me a nice Sunday evening. Keep pounding. Trust the golden rule. I like that. I'm gonna have to steal that for another shirt idea so you guys can continue to buy shirts and support the channels. But let's go ahead and end on a good note. What do you have here? Let's look at this graphic. I know it's not the most best looking graphic, but you can zoom in a little bit. Carolina Panthers are tied in first place with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so that's not going to change. It could be a three-way tie after Monday night, but the New Orleans Saints cannot go above. There will definitely be at the most a three-way tie for the first place in the division, because everybody's 1-1 in the division. Tampa Bay at 3-2, Carolina at 3-2. New Orleans are yet to play. They're 2-2. And the New Orleans Saints, which, if you was a gambling man, you should have won some money because they were picked as favorites in this game. New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons 0-5. And hey, appreciate you very much, Mr. Man, I hope I'm saying your name right. Is it Kylan? How you say it, man? But he just did a $15 donation. And again, you guys, whether it's $1, whether it's 50 cents, I appreciate any kind of support that you're able to do to help keep this channel going, help me do what I do and cover this team and working directly for you guys. I appreciate you. Signing